Hey guys, in this episode I'm going to show you how to make a Christmas card using Photoshop and Illustrator. Hey guys, welcome to Calvin Designs. My name is Calvin and I design, and that's why it's called Calvin Designs. Click right here, subscribe to my YouTube channel and get all these episodes as they come out, and click down here to subscribe to my newsletter and get all these free source files for every episode free. In this episode I'm going to show you how to make a Christmas card, first using Photoshop and then using Illustrator. Different designs, different methods, and there is actually different advantages for both software. And you can see the Christmas cards here, and here's another one, and a third version right here. All right, let me show you.
All right, so to start, actually, I recommend going to vistaprint.com, and we're just going to use some of their templates to start. If you go up here in the holiday cards and gifts, go to just click on that, and actually click on the holiday cards right here, and get started. Once you're in here, you have a thing up here that's not very big, but you have a link up here that says full pricing and specifications. So click on that, and we're actually going to be doing a 5x7 folded, and you can see the prices here and stuff, but that's not really what I'm interested in. What I'm interested in is the product specs, which shows you the exact size, because when people say 5x7, it doesn't usually or always mean exactly 5x7 inches. In this case, it's 7.17 by 4.61, etc. So it's good to pick a size. So in our case, we're going to do a 5x7 folded, which is here, and I want to be able to download the template that they provide. So let's just click on here, download template for horizontal, and we're going to download the Photoshop. Here we go to my desktop. And let's download the Illustrator, as in the second part of this video we will do the Illustrator. Alright, and there we go. Okay, we don't really need the distiller. That's fine. Alright, go ahead and close this, and close this for now. We'll just minimize this for now. Okay, and I got these two zip files. Let's go ahead and just double click on both of these, and we'll get the uncompressed. One's a PSD, one's an AI. I can go ahead and delete these zip files, and let's start with the PSD. So I'm going to go ahead and open the PSD right here, and here we go. And let's just look at some of these terms here. Trim is basically where you're going to cut, and safe margin is basically a margin that is usually a little inside that says, anything beyond this point could get cut off, and you don't want to lose it. So anything like text, you really don't want to pass the safe margin. It tells you that the file needs to be CMYK 300 DPI, which this file is. So we'll just use this, and you can see it's just one face. So and it should have in the layers somewhere right here. You have your design guides, which we will turn off before we're done. All right, now we want to design the front, and we're going to use a photo that I'm going to provide, but we do need a couple fonts, and fonts is kind of a fun part of designing, so I recommend a cool place to get fonts, which is Google Fonts. They're all free. You can use them as much as you want, and they're pretty cool. So I've gone ahead, and you can go here and spend quite a while looking for fonts that you like. For this tutorial, I'm going to tell you which ones I'm using. The first one is Matic, A-M-A-T-I-C, and I use the small caps version. Let's see, here we go. We got two styles in this one. All right, and here you just click on the plus right here, and it says that I've added this family. Okay, if I click here, it's the Matic small caps. You can go ahead and download with this little button. All right, download the selection. Let's just download it to the desktop for now. And there it is. Let's go and see on the desktop right here. And it gives you this little folder. And you got a bold and a regular. So you can load this on a Mac by double-clicking it and do install font right here, and do that to both versions, the regular and the bold. If you have Suitcase or another font management program, or you want one, I recommend watching my episode called Installing and Managing Fonts, and that'll show you how to use that. That's what I use. It's kind of a simpler way of loading fonts, which you can see here. So I've already gone ahead and loaded the fonts that I want, and those fonts are we'll actually see them as we go, but they're Amatic, and this first version that we're going to do, Amatic and Bilbo Swash. So let's go to Photoshop right here, and let's go ahead and open. Let's open, and in the source files that you will have downloaded, you'll go in here, and let's start up with the close-up. Pont Alex 3 close-up. Open that up. All right, and we can just go ahead and drag this over. Okay, and we're gonna zoom out a little bit. So you can go over here, just type in, let's say 25, and if you hit Command T, that gives you the free transform. All right, and we can go ahead and just make this a little smaller. It's a little too big. So something like this. We don't want it small in the document because we want it to bleed. What that means is, bleeding means that the image goes all the way to the edge, but what it really means is that it goes beyond the edge. And the printer has a piece of paper that's bigger. He prints on a piece of paper that's bigger than the final piece that he gives you, and he just cuts it. But you need the image to bleed or continue going on for that to work. So let's do this, something like that. Let's hit return. Let's bring the guides back and bring this photo below the guide so we can see kind of what we're dealing with. All right, so we can see that the top, I don't want the top to be cut off, so that's below. It's a little above the safe area, but it's below the trim, so that's pretty good. Okay, I can go ahead and hide the this here. Now the image is a little flat. It's actually a photo by my good friend Serge Ramelli, and it's good as a photo, but like if I want to add some copy or whatnot, it'll be nicer to have a little more punchy. So I'm going to go ahead and do a really old trick, which is copying it and just setting the copy above it in overlay mode. All right, and you see how it adds some contrast, adds some saturation. It's overall adds contrast. That's really what it does. All right, so once that's done, let's go ahead and hit T for the text, or just click on this right here, and click, and we'll type in happy return holidays. All right, and let's find the type panel so we can edit the type, and we will find it character right here. All right, so in the character and the paragraph, first thing, we want it centered. Second thing is, this font we want, let's go with Amatic, like we mentioned. So I have a couple versions here, and let's make this a lot bigger so we can see what we're doing. And so this is the size of the font right here, and this is the leading. That's the space between the lines. So let's just put this on automatic for now. I think we can zoom in, so Command, Option, and plus, like so. Okay, and I think we probably want a bolder version of this, something like that. Let's see what the other version is like. Yeah, kind of like this one that we have better. Yeah, we're good with that. Okay, pretty good. I think we can definitely be bigger, something like this, and let's move this over here. Let's bring back the guides to make sure we're not, we're not getting too close to that trim there. And 60 maybe. It's pretty good. I want it pretty big. All right, and it's not bad. I think I actually want the regular version, so non-bold. And let's go and do minus 25% of kerning, that's the space between letters. And let's bring this down to 48 leading. 60 is the size of the font, 48 leading. Okay, something like this. Let's go ahead and hide these guides. And let's bring this palette a little lower so it's not in our way. All right, so the text is pretty good. One thing that I like to do when I'm dealing with a document that has bleed is I like something where I can just turn it on to hide it so I can see what does it look like once it's cut. To do that, you make a selection of where your bleed is. So in this case, right here. Well, let me just deselect that and move this out of the way so you can see it. Go to the red line here and make a selection like so. And then on the very top, we'll make a new layer. And I'm going to invert my selection. So I'm going to select inverse. And with the eyedropper tool, I for eyedropper right here, I'm going to pick this background color. It's dark gray. And I'm going to edit fill with foreground color. Okay. All right. And now I can deselect. Command D or select, deselect. All right. Now you see this layer up here now is just hiding that bleed. All right. So it's good to know that I have bleed, but while I'm designing, this is never going to show up. So it's going to be cut off. So I need to see what that's going to look like. It's very important for when you're doing your type and making sure that the spaces are nicely balanced. All right. So one thing I like to do with this type of font is add a little glow. So the easiest way to do that is you just double click on the layer, not on the name, on the layer here, not on the icon, right here on the right. Double click here and you get the layer styles palette. And here you get outer glow. Just click on that and we'll just put it on normal. Doesn't have to be on screen. And let's see, what do we want? A little size here. That's 80 is pretty strong, but I kind of like it. I wanted to feel like it's glowing a little bit. Something like that. Okay, and maybe the opacity is a little strong, but I don't know. 80 is okay. We can do 75. 75. Okay. I really want it to look kind of like it's lit. Okay. And maybe it's a little strong. I'm going to double click on the outer glow here. And the size, I'm going to use the arrow keys to go down until I'm happy with it. So I like the 13. Let's go down to 50%. That's pretty good. I just want it to look like a little slightly lit. Size is 10 or 11. That's pretty good. So before it's a little too much. So it gives you a little blurry look, but I like it. That's pretty good. 12, and let's go up to 60 again. Hit OK. All right. And next, I want to say from the Smith family. We're imagining this is from a family. So hit T for text, and then just click, and I'm going to type in from the Smith family. Okay. Now it kept the same attributes as my last text box, which I do not want. So in this case, I want it left aligned. And the character is the other font that I mentioned, Bilbo. So let's go and find that. Where is that? Bilbo Swash Caps. That's pretty cool. All right, and this needs to be considerably small. Let's try 24 to start. It's pretty cool. All right, and I'm going to use the arrow keys with the move tool selected to kind of move it. Shift does 10 at a time, 10, so it's bigger increments. There we go. Something like this. And let's see. Let's add a little glow to this guy too. So over here, outer glow, almost the same. Look at that. It's almost perfect. Let's go down to 10 pixels. Hit OK. Bring it to the left a little. All right, so I really like that. The one difference is maybe the kerning, that it left the minus 25. You might want to just tone that down a little bit because the letters are maybe a little too squeezed. Okay, let's make sure that you see we're not violating that the safety, the blue outline, so we're good there. All right, so that's fine. And I'm actually pretty happy with this front. So this is the first one. So let's go ahead and this was the hide bleed. You should name these layers actually. Hide bleed. And then this is from the template. We don't need that. These are the guides. We're going to hide that. This is the text. We can call this Paris. And Paris copy. Paris copy. Okay. And there we go. So now we can go ahead and save as. Right here, save as. And let's go ahead and call this. I'm going to put this in here. and we'll call this version 1. Version 1 front, or let's call it page 1, right? Version 1, page 1, like so, all right, which is the front. All right, and the other thing that we're going to do is the inside, okay? So let's go ahead and close this, and we don't need this anymore. And let's just go to their Finder here, and in the source files here, we have our version 1, page 1. I'm going to duplicate this, so Command D on a Mac, or you can just right click and copy paste or duplicate right there. All right, we're going to call this, let's just call this version 1, page 2. Okay, and that's going to be the inside, right? Well, it's a folded card, so once you open it, this is what you're going to get. And let's go ahead and open that. Okay, and I'm going to Command plus to zoom in more, and then zoom out a little bit. It's not zooming out further. There we go. This is what I wanted. Okay. And another thing that we need is the family photo that's on my desktop. Now, I'm not going to provide that because it's a copyrighted image and because you're going to use your own photo. So there's no point, but I do want to show you what I would do with it. So let's open up this this photo here. And if I were to place this in here, just drag it. Okay. And so we don't need the Paris. Select those, shift click, delete. All right, let's call this family. Like so. Okay, let's hide these text layers for a second. Our hide bleed is on, that's good. And now I'm going to go ahead and shrink this. So I hit Command T. We can't see the border because it's so much bigger. So hold on Option and Command and hit the minus key until you see your whole transform box, right? I hit Command T to transform, free transform. So hold on Alt and Shift to shrink towards the center, something like this. And I'm just going to try to get something like that, all right? I want them all kind of in there, but we're gonna do some effects to kind of blend them in a little more. Maybe a little smaller, something like so. There we go, like that. Okay. Now, what we're gonna do is basically mask them. Okay. So, click on the mask, and what I want to do is with the gradient, all right, and a gradient foreground to background. Make sure your foreground is black. And let's hide this for a second. All right, so I'm on the mask. All right, so if I do a gradient from here and I hold down the shift to make it nice and straight, all the way to here, it's going to make a nice smooth gradient. All right. What I want is actually I want to make a ghost around them so that they're just well, you'll see. So I'm going to click and drag over here. It's going to go over them, and that's fine. I can go ahead and fix that. And then maybe from here to say here, and then say from here to here. And the bottom as well, something like that. Maybe the bottom even more, something like that. Okay. All right. And if I wanted to curve this a little more, I could do that. We can make one at a 45-degree angle here, one over here, and basically I'm adding gradients to this mask. Okay. And okay. And now I want to bring back their faces. So I'm going to hit B for brush. And make sure that I'm on white because white is going to reveal. And holding down the Control and Alt key makes you able to adjust the brush. So left and right is size, and up and down is hardness. So take a nice soft brush, not too big, and let's make the opacity of this brush, let's say 30%. Okay, and now we're going to basically go and reveal their faces just a little bit. Ooh, undo that. That 30% was too strong. Let's try 10%. I want to do this nice and slow. Okay, so here, click a few times on the faces. Don't want the faces to be washed out. All right, so click, click, click. And the 10% really lets me do this so that it's not too jarring. You don't want him to be too faded. Okay, and same with the mom. Okay, so like this. Make sure their faces. It's really just the faces that matter. Okay. Okay, now I see here this is a little too much. I don't really want all that, so I hit the X right here. Maybe make my brush a little bigger, and I can go ahead and hide this. Okay, in this case, opacity can go to 30, and now I am brushing black on here, which is basically masking it out. So, all right, I assume that the stair's not very interesting. I could go with a gradient again and just say, okay, just bring this in. But I'm afraid to get rid of their faces too much. So nice and easy. We'll do the trick. So something like this, like that. All right, I'm going to go back to the B for brush, hit X to invert my color so I'm white, and let's go to 20 here. I just want to make sure that her face is really not washed out. Okay. All right. Okay, so now there's another trick that we can do. So I kind of got the gradient nice and smooth, which I'm happy with. And there's another trick that I can do, which is I kind of want to desaturate the colors of everything but their faces. So the way I do this, or one way to do this, is create a new layer. And let's go in here into the black. And let's pick a color that's kind of desaturated. I want a kind of a cool color. So in the blues, let's go somewhere here. All right, not too saturated. Something like this. That's not bad. And let's hit OK. And I'm going to fill this. So edit and fill with foreground. Okay. And now I'm going to put this layer in color mode. Right. And I'm going to hold on the Alt key so that it locks this. It's basically making a mask from this to here. All right. So you see what it did there? It's basically assigning this this color to this photo. All right. Now, I don't want their faces all blue. I wanted it to be kind of a soft effect. So let's bring this. Let's actually bring this to say 70%. All right. So we've already we've lightly desaturated all these colors, and we've kind of given it all the same sort of cold look. And then make a mask. And here we're going to hide using the black. We're going to go in here and once again over their faces, bring back the color. Right? We're masking out the color. Right? So it's just a nice way to kind of give that sort of Christmassy, nice soft mask look to the photo. So there we go. Now we have the photo. Let's go ahead and select both by holding down the Shift and then Command G to group, or Control G on a PC, and we'll call this family. Okay. And all right. So now with the Move tool, V for Move tool, if I bring this down a little bit, because I actually want to put a little quote up there. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to use the same font I used in the front. So T for Type tool and just click. And we're going to write, may the joy of Christmas warm your heart. And I'm actually, one thing I did that I wouldn't do actually is I want this to be in a text box. So I'm going to right click this, and they don't have this anymore. Basically, I'm going to actually delete this and start over. Hit T and just make a click and drag, and it makes you a text box. All right. So we'll start over here. May the joy of Christmas warm your heart. Fill your home and last a lifetime, or whatever message you want to put. All right. So once I've done that, I'm just going to make sure this is nice on every edge. Oop, I don't want it there. All right. Select everything, make sure it's centered, and I actually wanted the other font. A cool little shortcut to get the text is hit Command T while you have text selected. So that brings up that. That's nice and useful. And let's make it this Amatic small caps, kind of like that. And don't want it black. Let's make it, select this again. Let's select this, and I kind of want a nice blue. Something like this would be nice. Yeah, look like that. Kind of like that. Let's see that. That's pretty good. Maybe a little less magenta, so bring it down a bit. There you go. Okay. All right. And the nice thing about a text box is I can, if I want it to be on 2 lines, I can just change the size of the box. I do want this to be a little bit bigger, maybe 36 point, like so. and I want this to be in the next line. So shift return does a soft return. There we go. And let's just make this the leading a little smaller. Whoop, not too much. Something like this. Let's make this a little bigger. And down here, we'll just sign it. Let's say Mary, John, Ben, Michael, and Liz Smith. Alright, now this I would not put in this font. I would just use a sort of a standard serif. Even a Times would work. Times bold italic probably, something like that. And obviously much smaller. And even smaller than that. Let's try 12, might be a little small, but it's bold. It could work. Alright, and then this, let's try this, something like that. Might need a little more leading on this line over here. So let's go to 36. That's pretty good. And then this, let's bring this to 16. There we go. Okay. So I got my little message here, and I kinda want to see more leading on this. So like this. Sorry, kerning. A smaller kerning. This too. Let's try minus 25 is good. Okay. And now the family maybe needs to be a little lower, just to kind of give that room to breathe. And we have the message. So essentially we've done a front and a back, and while I prefer the folded Christmas card because it can sit on a mantle or something, this could also just be a single front and back. And that's just an option of printing, which I can show you on the Vistaprint site. You don't have to do this for Vistaprint, obviously. I'm just using them as an example because they have a pretty nice variety of sizes. So let's go ahead and save this as page 2. So that's just, we can just save this, Command S. Okay, so that's version 1, page 2. And okay, so now for the next version, I'm going to go ahead and close this. We're going to do another version now using Illustrator. Okay, and I am going to just duplicate this version 1, and we're just going to call this family. I'm going to go ahead and open that, and what I'm going to do here is just delete this text, and bring the family up a little bit. Okay, something like this. Command T. Let me see. Why can't I see anything? Command T. Okay, there we go. All right, and we can. Oh, I actually don't want to say the hide bleed. Save that. Close it. On the other one, I want to make sure that these two, the hide bleed is not active, which they are. So go ahead and uncheck that, and then save it. And same here. Uncheck that and save it. Okay, so those files are ready to go. Now let's go and let's do the AI. So I'm actually gonna copy this in here, and we'll call this. Oops, right here. We'll call this version 2. Okay, and it's AI for Adobe Illustrator. Go ahead and open this. It's gonna tell you that there's some text. Blah blah blah. It doesn't matter. Just hit OK. All right, you don't need to update anything. This text, these fonts don't actually matter. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm in Essentials, by the way. Same with Photoshop. If it doesn't look the same, just go to Essentials and then reset Essentials. Once that's done, I hide the libraries because I'm not too interested in that right now, and I open up this second set of palettes. Okay, I am missing my layers. They're down here. Okay, so in my layers, you see I have all this stuff that really doesn't matter. The bleed is, or the trim rather, is this red line. But that's fine. So let's start. We have this one right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm just going to hide this for now. And let's make a new layer. And for this next one, I actually want to use the fonts Aquafina Script and Alex Brush, which you can find in the Google Fonts. I've already gone ahead and installed those. And I'm going to place an image. So let's go to this, and in this case I actually want to use this photo, which is pretty cool, and another photo of Serge Ramelli. So you can have it as a link or not. I prefer, in this case, I'm going to not have it as a link, which means it's going to be embedded in the file, which means that if you ever do give this file to anybody, all you need to do is give them the AI file. Okay, so go ahead and do that. and I'm going to just, so it made it much too big, so I'm going to hold on Shift, make it smaller, bring it up. You can hold on the Alt key, which makes it shrink towards the center. Okay, and remember the red out here is the trim. So we have plenty of, if I go to the edge of this document, we should be good. All right, something like this. All right, maybe I want to make this a little bigger. Something like that. Yeah, I don't want this in the frame. Once again, like we did earlier, let's make a hide bleed. All right, call this hide bleed. And all right, and with the marquee tool, I'm going to go ahead. Actually, you know what? We can just take this right here that's locked. Take this red. Hold on the Alt key. See this little dot right here? That means it's selected. Take it and bring it up to the hide bleed while holding down the Alt key. That means I made a copy of it. All right. So if I hide this, it's still here. And in this case, okay, now we can open this, and we're going to drag this and make another copy. So now we have two copies of the same thing. The one on the outside, meaning the one underneath, rather, I'm going to make bigger, something like that. That's fine. Okay, and then I'm gonna select both of these, and I'm gonna go to the Pathfinder, which is Window, Pathfinder. Okay, and holding on the Alt key, I'm gonna say minus front. Okay, which means this object, which is a small one inside, is gonna be minus out of this. Okay. Try the new shape builder tool to combine shapes much faster and more easily. Let's do that later. All right. So I've made my shape, and I do not need a stroke. And on the fill, I'm going to hit the eyedropper tool and pick this gray area. Okay. Now you can't really see what this looks like, but this is what it looks like. See, it's this shape right here. Okay. So now it's effectively, if I just for the sake of showing you, this is the shape. All right, and I'm hiding the bleed. I like it to be the color of the artboard because that way it's really hiding it. All right, and I lock that, and there you go. Okay, so now when I put my photo here, before I hide the bleed, after I hide the bleed, now I can actually see where it's going to be cut. So that looks good. Once again, I want there to be a little more oomph on this photo, a little more contrast. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to Command C to copy and Command F to paste in place. And in the transparency menu, let's go over here and look at transparency. This palette over here, and we're going to say, let's do overlay, just like we did in Photoshop. Okay, look at that. Kind of gives it a little more contrast, gives a little more, I don't know, gives a little more color. It's a neat little trick to add some I don't know, some taste or some more drama to the photo, pretty simply. All right. If you do change it, make sure you select both of them. All right. In fact, it's a good idea to just group them. Command G to group. Okay. So this is going to be image. Well, actually, this is the design. So let's just call this design, and the group is the image. So that's fine. Okay. Now let's go and let's move this over, and I'm going to type in Mary. And make another one, Christmas. Now I made two of them. I made two different text objects. See that? So the reason is I want to play around with them separately. All right. Now I want this to be an Aquafina, so I can either do it up here or I can do it in the text palette. But this should be, well, let's just pull it up. Text, which is character, and they organize it over here. There you go. Character. All right. And in here, let's go to Aquafina. Here we go. There we go. It's pretty cool. And I want the type to be white. And let's make it 48 points. It's pretty good. Anything bigger? 60 maybe? All right. Let's just try this. The reason I did it in two is because I want to be able to play with them as words. And you see, I like the fact that this font, I don't know, I kind of like that the Mary is aligned to the capital C of Christmas. Kind of cool. I kind of like that. If you're snapping and you don't know why, just hold down the Control key and you should release that. The other thing is I have Command U. If you hit Command U, you will get rid of your snapping smart guides, right? And there it's much smoother. See that? There you go. All right, so something like that, kind of like that. The placement, I would say maybe a little more this way over here. Hide bleed is on, right? Okay, good. Don't want to go past these guides. Those are the the safety guides. So I kind of like that. All right, and once again, I kind of want to put a glow on this. So I'm going to group this, Command G, and go to the effects, and let's go to stylize, outer glow. Okay, normal. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, now you see they're just pixelated. It's kind of pixelated in there. All right, so the reason for that is in the effects, you have document raster effect settings. Okay, now it's saying that it's going to basically when it's rendering this, it's going to make it at 72, and that's the problem. So just turn it up to 300, and that should fix it. Let's try this out. There you go. See, all those pixels are gone. And all right, so notice here in this group here, there's a little gradient on that selection right there. That means that there's an effect that's applied to it. It's kind of a hard thing to catch if you don't know that it's there, but it's there. And now if you want to edit the outer glow, go to the appearance palette and click on the outer glow. And now we can hit the preview and see what happens. Let's turn it up a little bit. Maybe kind of like this, maybe a little too strong. Let's try 0.5. 0.5 and hit tab to see it. That's kind of cool. I like it. Maybe 0.4. That's cool too. Okay, hit OK, and we have that. Okay, and then I want to type down here from the Smith family. Okay, I don't really want this font again, so I said earlier Alex Brush. Alex Brush, like that. Let's make it white. And I kind of like the white on blue. It's kind of has a nice Christmassy feel to it. Let's make it 10 point. Ooh, that's way too small. Let's try 14. Still too small. 18. All right, you don't want it too big. Let's bring this over here. Well, let's try it one more. 21. Okay, and let's make the paragraph aligned right. That way, if I do change it around, my spacing will be the same. Okay, something like that. Let's go back to the character and turn it up a little bit. Do they have a bolder version? No. Well, let's add the outer glow. Click that. Look at that. It's already there. It's maybe a little strong, so click on here. 0.25. Let's just do 0.2 for this one. Okay. Here we go. All right. From the Smith family. All right. So let's go ahead and save as. All right. Can we just save? Yeah, it's going to ask us to save as because it was an older version. So we'll just call this version 2 AI and save. We're going to replace it and just keep all the defaults. That's all fine. Okay. Now I want to do the inside of the card. I want to do it in the same document. I want to have two documents, and Illustrator manages pages pretty well. So if I go to the artboard tool, I can go ahead and now I'm going to make a new artboard. But notice this little button is selected. So move copy artboard with artboard. So what that means is if I move this artboard, it's going to move all the art that's in it as well, which is pretty handy. So in this case, all the stuff that's around it. But I do want to make a copy. So hold on the Alt key and hold on the Shift as well, and it'll bring it down. So let's bring it down here. Okay. Now it looks like it didn't actually copy the hide bleed. If I'm not mistaken, it copied everything else. So let's go to the hide bleed. Go click on here in the middle of this artboard, and then select this. Copy that. Go back to this artboard here, but now that you're in this artboard, see this line is darker gray instead of darker black instead of gray. Now select this layer right here and hit Command F, and there we go. You see now it pasted that hide bleed in the right spot. Command F is paste in place. So it doesn't just paste it randomly on the artboard. It keeps the XY coordinates perfect. Okay, and for the inside, we actually want to do something similar like we did in Photoshop. Now, so let's just go ahead and get rid of this. And I'm going to, let's take, this is the white text. Let's just move this out of the way for a minute. And so with this, I have nothing inside now. And I'm going to go ahead and place right here, and we're going to place the family, all right? Like so. There we go. So the gradients are all nice and clean already, and I can just go ahead and put this like this, and I can go ahead and type in my message. So I'm going to click and drag to make a text box, and here I'm going to do, may the joy of Christmas warm your heart, fill your home, and last a lifetime. Okay, return Mary, John, Ben, Michael, and Liz Smith. Okay. All right, we don't want this font. Obviously, select all. Let's just center it, and I could use this. This font is okay for this, but definitely not for this. So let's go here and take something a little more humble. I like a serif font, like we did earlier. It's kind of nice. Let's see, what do we have? Let's just do the same thing that we did. We did a times, I believe. Let's do a Times New Roman, bold italic. Okay. Obviously, it needs to be much smaller, something like this. And I like the idea of having it blue, but this time let's pick a blue from the front. Let's take this blue right here. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, it's behind this photo. Is that right? Is it? No, it's in front. So, all right. So the issue I had actually was when I hit the eyedropper tool, it picked the overlay. So you have to select the text and make sure that it's on normal. And the reason it was becoming transparent was because it was an overlay. So anyway, it took a second to find that, but here we go. So I'm going to actually make this text a little darker. I think it's a little too light. Let's double click on that. Let's just bring this down a little like so. There we go. Okay, that's better. All right, and I'm going to bring a soft return on the fill. So it's like that. And let's see, character, let's do auto. I want a little more space behind this. So let's just do this. Kind of want this to be a little bit bigger. Like so. I kind of like this. All right. Let's just make sure this is centered. So click this and then click on this. If this doesn't show up, that means that you're aligned to selection as opposed to artboard. Okay. And then let's just bring this photo down a notch, something like that. We can make this this text like so. Let's just bring this a little closer together. There you go. Okay. That's pretty good. Okay. So there we go. And we can bring this up a little bit now. All right. And we do not need this anymore. We do not need this anymore. And now we have our front and our inside. I don't do a back just because I consider you can always put your name if you want in the back, or if you have a logo, put your logo in the back. But on a Christmas card, I like the front and the back. Sorry, the front and the inside. I'm going to turn off the hide bleed, and that way we're good. And I'm going to go ahead and save this. And there we go. So I actually want to do a third version. So let's just go to let's go here and let's duplicate version 2 here, and let's just call it version 3. Okay, open that up, and I'm just going to change the front. I'm going to keep the inside. So I'm going to go ahead and let's just go here, click on this, and then place. Oops, place. And in this case, we'll do Concord. Okay, just click on that. And once again, I'm going to Command C, Command F, and the one that's in front, you can see there's 2 right here. And I'm going to do the overlay. It's a really quick trick. It's just nice to get that sort of frosted look too. So that's pretty cool. All right, select both of these and group it. And then let's just go ahead and place this and something like that. All right. Let's bring back the hide bleed just to hide that. And I'm going to bring this down, all the way down, right to where this was. This is the other image. All right, I'm going to go ahead and delete that. And the Merry Christmas here, actually I'm going to redo. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete that. and let's just type it here, Merry one line Christmas, so. And in this case, I'm going to use the font called Dancing Script, which I pre-installed. And let's do this, Dancing Script, okay. And something like that. And in this case, I want to pick a color that's from here. So I hit the eyedropper, but this time, I'm not going to make the same mistake. Let's just, well, that's fine. We'll just change the color mode. I hit eyedropper, and then I wanted a green, right? A green from the statue, kind of this rusted green. Something like this, like that. Fortunately, I have to change this to normal to see what it looks like. So this is kind of what I wanted. All right, pretty good. And okay, and then I'm gonna make this a little smaller, and I want to center it and center it on the page. Okay, make it a little smaller. Okay, let's move this for a second. Now I can't go below that safety line, so I'm gonna have to make this a little bit smaller for it to fit, but that's good. I'm okay if a little bit of the Y is close to the trim. That's fine. All right, and then I want the glow again, so apply outer glow. Let's go and look at what that is. 2.5. That's pretty good. Okay. And from the Smith family, in this case, I'm going to go back to that first font I used. What was it? Amatic. That's the one. This one. And from the soft return Smith family, like so. Except I want on the left side, so I'm going to left align it and go like this. Put it here. I want the same colors here, so once I have this swatch selected, go to my swatches and hit new. And I don't want it in my library, but let's make it a global color. Okay, hit OK, click on that, and apply that color. Pretty simple. All right, now this thing definitely needs some smaller leading, maybe even smaller font. And you know what? Let's make this bold, like that. Something like that. I don't know, something on the front that says, it's from the Smith family. Okay, and we good. That's all I wanted to change on this. And let's see, we're good here. Yeah. So the inside I'm gonna leave. If we want, let's just pick this and apply the same color. That way, it's kind of a more consistent colors motif. All right, and go ahead and save that. Actually, I need to turn up the bleed. I forgot to do that. Do that. Save. And now my 3 files are ready. All right. So once your files are ready, which in this case I have 2 AI files and 2 PSDs, you can go back to where was it? Not this one. Did I close it? Oh, here it is. Nope. Google Fonts. Here we go. All right. So once you're done with that, go ahead and upload your completed design, and this is where you pick your, say, 5x7 folded. It gives you your price, whatever. Hit next, and then in this little thing, you're gonna say, okay, well, I'm gonna add this from my computer. You can see that I've been screwing around with it earlier. Choose image, and let's go to where I saved it. Let's start with this one. Okay, it's gonna add it. Let's go ahead and delete all these other ones, all these older ones. I was testing it out. And let's add some more images. Go here, add images. Let's do these and open. So that's all loading. All right, so it actually added all the files. However, the 2 AI files, it didn't do the other pages. Now, this happens sometimes, and what I recommend you do is actually save a PDF. So in this version 2, for example, you go ahead and do save a copy, and just type in PDF. It'll do all the pages, and just call it version 2 copy is fine. And hit save, and just keep the Illustrator default. Should be fine, because the marks and bleeds don't need to be turned on, and the bleeds are actually within the document. So just save PDF, like so. And there we go, we see it. And close that. Close this. Don't need to save that. All right, and let's do that for version 3 real quick, and save a copy as a PDF, save all, save, and then that's fine. Close this, don't save. All right, now we have 2 PDFs. All right, so when we go back to here, these 2 AI files that only had a single page, we can go ahead and delete those. All right, like so. And then let's just add the two PDFs, so this one and this one. Hold down the Command key to select both. Hit open, and once it's loaded, it should have the multiple pages. Okay, so you'll see here with the PDF, it actually went ahead and did that. So we have the front and the back. It's nice and clean. So let's do the first one. So the PSD, you just take it and drag it, and it should just place it nice and perfect. There you go. All right, and that's the front side and the inside. The inside we want a full color. I don't want any of this. So let's do. I want a photo. Interesting. They're templates. So just go to image right here. Let's get rid of this. Okay. And more. Delete that. Same here. More. Delete that. So their template has this. Go ahead and just pick the other one right here. Just click that and drag it over. And interesting. All right. I don't understand why this was like that, but let's do. It should fit the exact way, but just because it didn't, let's do that. Okay. Make it fit all the way to the end. Okay, that's the inside, and the back side. I don't think it needs anything. You can add something, but I would just leave it blank. You could sign it, put your logo if you want. All right. In this case, we'll just leave it blank. All right, let's hit preview. And we got the front and the inside. Back side, nothing. Side by side. Pretty cool. All right, I like that. And then review and purchase. It'll send you a proof so you can test it out. So make sure you didn't make any typos. Reread it. And you just, you say I've reviewed it and approved it. So whether it was from the PDF file or the PSD file, they work the same. So, and as far as shipping and quantity and all that, you just figure that it's all on the site. I'm just using this as an example to print. You can print this anywhere. The nice thing about the PDFs is you can give this to anybody, say a printer at FedEx office or something. Anybody who has a printer that can cut, because this has full bleed, meaning the image goes all the way to the edge. All right, well, I hope this helped, and I hope you have a Merry Christmas.
All right, guys, I hope you learned something in this episode, and I hope you make a beautiful Christmas card for yourself. And if you like this episode, please remember to like it and share it on Facebook and Google+. I'll see you in the next episode.